Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I am building a business now that is on eBay where I am going back to my roots, and I'm using estate sales and yard sales, doing some thrift stores to kind of source for this new business on eBay. I'm creating it so that in 2 to 3 years, when me and my husband retire from what has been our wholesale business model, business online, that I can have this as more of a hobby business and be able to go to these things like the estate sales and yard sales because I really enjoy it. I do. And I thought I wanted to do a short video on what my impressions are now and how I'm getting and being prepared to go to them, because I'm finding that going and preparing yourself for an estate sale is really different than what I'm doing for a yard sale. So for the estate sales, I've mentioned a lot of, you can prepare for those, meaning I can look at all the pictures, I can get myself an idea what it is I want to buy, I can get myself an idea what that stuff will sell for. Those things, like those sales, will have a defined time, and those defined times, if it's saying it starts at 9 o'clock, it's going to open the doors at 9 o'clock. So at that point, the idea has to be that you need to be one of the first people in there. And that planning also in my mind means what time I'm going to get to the estate sale. So, you can know at some point that you're going to be the first because you've gotten there so early. Some of the times too, I've made decisions I'm not going. That's the other thing. I've been able to see that the pictures are there and the stuff that's there is really not worth my time going. So that's the level of planning. And then I can understand by continuing to go to some of these estate sale companies what the pricing expectations are going to be, and kind of have a roundabout budget in what I'm going for. And honestly, I can be in and out of a yard or in and out of an estate sale in 10 minutes if there's just a few things that I want to get. So estate sales are very targeted. They're very ahead of the day planned, and tactical, I guess, would be the way to use it. And you can do some networking. I've done some videos on how you can get yourself networking, because maybe there is some information that isn't readily going to be available, and by the networking that you do, maybe they'll give you some side advantages. The yard sales, today I went to a citywide one. So today's sale was very, one right after the other. But yard sales, for the most part, you can't plan ahead of time because you don't know. Even if the people put pictures, I don't even trust those pictures, because there's been more times than not that the stuff in those pictures are from a sale they had like last year. The only thing the pictures kind of give me is an idea on the condition of the type of product that they sell, the type of product that when they say that there's clothing, is it kids, is it an adult, is it outdoor, is it in, you know what I mean? There's just that level of generality that the pictures provide to me. The other thing is, if they say they start at 9, I'm an early bird. I'm telling you right now, I get my day started at 7 a.m. when I'm going for yard sales. I just did an estate sale and I was up at 4. So that gives you the level of what timing I had to be out. Today, I wasn't real sure because it was still dark at like 6:30. And it was like, okay, I can get up, but how early are these other people getting up to put their goods out? And the other thing is that when you get to like an estate sale, what is out is out. They're not pulling stuff down from an attic or garage or a shed, or, when you're there, it's there. If it's one of those packed houses that you kind of have to pick through, you know that you're going to be given that opportunity to just go pick through. When you go to an estate or a yard sale, I'm telling you, I've been there and they're still like unloading a shed. Like, this is stuff they hadn't seen in 20 years, and they didn't even have any prep work to start on doing the newspaper on stuff or whatever. So there's that level of of uncertainty, even when you get there and there's stuff on the table, you really do have to ask, is there additional stuff? I know a lot of people ask about the video games. There's a lot of people that ask about like vinyl records, or I've been there. There's one guy that just does musical instruments, and he'll ask when he gets there, even if he doesn't see that out, because maybe it's like, oh yeah, she's got something up in the closet. Or so yard sales are very fluid in what's going to be coming out and available. So it does work to your advantage to be early, but you have to be kind of already understanding what you want to ask about. I mean, you can't just ask them in general. Do you have canisters? And do you have a rowing machine? And do you no, you don't know any idea. I mean, they're going to bring toilet paper out, and you don't know what they're bringing out. So yard sales are very like that, very fluid. That's where you really got to have like the eBay app up so you can kind of do your research. Hold on a second. Sorry, my throat thing is still bothering me. So you gotta be kind of tactical in what you ask them, because you can't ask about everything. So, I tend to ask for my Christmas. Obviously, I love my Christmas, so that's what I'm asking for. But some of the other things is, I know when I go to the estate sale, they'll say ahead of time if I can take a credit card. If I go to yard sales, maybe nowadays you can see about Venmo or Zelle or whatever it is to pay them. But for the most part, I know I got to have cash on me. I'm going to want to have a mixture of cash so that I'm not like waiting around for them to try to make change. So that's part of the thing. And you don't know what the pricing is going to be. I mean, I get the list of sales that I find ahead of time. Sometimes you're finding different ones as you're out with signs going on. So you're almost kind of unsure of how long you're going to be out for. Very, very determined. Weather in my area is very much a detriment into whether or not the sale. I mean, if we got rain coming, they're not having it. So yard sales are just different. I would say for the most part, you're going to get better pricing. You're going to find a different array of stuff. I mean, you could go to one house that's going to have very primitive. You could go to another one and it's going to be all like well-used but antique tools. So it's like you don't know until you kind of really get there and dig through like what you're going to get. So that's part of the treasure hunting and excitement of it all, isn't it? So having said that, these are just the differences of it. There's a lot more uncertainty for the yard sales, but the payback on the yard sale is that you can really fill up a car and fill it up for a lot less money in general than what you're going to pay at an estate sale. And the competition at the estate sales are like, it's almost like what you see is like one of them bike races or like a marathon where it's just this group of people all like right away, all just running in there, But like in a yard sale, again, it depends on who's getting there, when's getting there. People are kind of, because you're usually outside, people are kind of more milling around, and people are coming and going. So I don't see as much with yard sales either, like feeling like claustrophobic, like everybody's all over, like right in my space. I have mobility issues with my leg. I've had leg reconstructive surgery and stuff. I don't pivot well. So I'm always very kind of anxious and conscientious of like where people are around me or goods and stuff are around me. And I don't find that like with the yard sales. It's like I said, more, coming and going. And now let me tell you, there's been some sales that are really good and there's going to be a lot of people there. But generally, like, you can walk around the other side of the tables and stuff like that. So that's a little bit more of the flexibility and freedom with yard sales. So that's what I would tell you in consideration of how to think or plan for the yard sales. Yard sales, you can kind of make yourself a list of an itinerary where you want to go. But I'm going to tell you, like I said, you may get through them really quick because they don't really have anything. You can find ones along the way, and then before you know it, you're sidetracked. Nothing wrong with all that, but it's just you have to have a little bit more flexibility mindset in that. And I do find that the more amateur resellers are doing the yard sale thing, where the people coming to the estate sales are usually the people with like the antique booths, or they're the resellers that go to like, they have brick and mortar stores and stuff, because I think they can plan and they could just be tactical and just get in and get out. So I hope that gives you an idea of just what your thinking needs to be in going to these things. And I'm going to say I would appreciate any comments down below, like what other things did I not catch on to. I love both, so I'm not knocking either one or saying one's better than the other, but it's just what level of thinking you need for preparing yourself to get there. So I'm going to say bye for now. I would appreciate a thumbs up if you got some good information out of this, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.